Hello everyone. As we all know that engineering mathematics is highly valuable resource for the students of engineering and aspirants of various competitive examinations. Over the period of time, the GATE and AC examination have become challenged due to increasing number of candidates. Though every candidate has ability to succeed, but competitive environment, in-depth knowledge, quality guidance, and good source of study is required to achieve high-level goals. For this, I, Dr. Kirti Sahu, has paved the way of providing the good source of study material through this series of video lecture. I hope these video lectures will be proved an important tool to succeed in GATE and ESE examination. In this video lecture, we shall discuss the basic concepts of a matrix on which the GATE questions are frequently asked. So let us begin with the first question. Multiplication of the matrices E and F is G. E and G matrices are given like this, and the options are we have to find out the matrix F. So these are the options given. So we will remember one thing. Whenever question is given, so first thing that one has to do is to go through the question carefully, right? Some many times the answers are given in the question itself, right? So let us see here. So let us make use of the given quantity. What is given? That E into F is G. Now, G, look at G. G is identity matrix, right? And on the left hand side, we have a product of two matrices. So we know that when a product of two matrices is G, then one is said to be the inverse of other. As here we wish to find out F, so we can say F is nothing but the inverse of E. So by making use of this relation, we can have F is inverse of E. And how to find inverse? So for this we will make use of the formula adjoint of E upon determinant of E. We know very well how to find out adjoint. Adjoint is nothing but the transpose of cofactor matrix. So we will have to find out the transpose of cofactor matrix as well as determinant in this case. And just by putting the values in this formula, you will get the answer this. So therefore F is a matrix, this one. So which is nothing but the given in the option number C. Therefore option C is the correct option. I hope this problem is clear to you all. Let us move to the next question. Question number 2. Which one of the following equation is a correct identity for the arbitrary 3 by 3 real matrices P, Q and R? These are the choices given. We will have to find out which one is correct. Right. Now what is mean by real matrix? Real matrix means the matrix in which the entries are a real number. Okay. Now here choices are given. So we will go through each choices one by one. Obviously, what we are finding the product of the matrices. So here we will use the concept of product of matrix as well as determinant is also there. So we need the concept of determinant. For getting the concept of determinant, you can refer the video lecture on determinant and Cramer's rule, whereas for getting the concept of multiplication of the matrix, you can go through the basics of the matrix, that is an introductory lecture on the matrices. The link of these two videos are given in the description box. One can refer that. So let us see what will be answer for this. So if you will go through the first option, so what we are finding, it is nothing but just like a distributive property. So we will distribute P amongst Q and R. So in the particular order itself, so it should be P into Q plus the next term should be P into R. Whereas we are finding here R into P, and we know very well matrix multiplication is non-commutative, means we cannot write R into P as P into R. So this is incorrect, right? Let us move to the next one. Now here we are finding one term 2 times PQ. So 2 times PQ itself gives you an idea that this identity is wrong, because we know that matrix multiplication is non-commutative, so you will not get the term of 2 times PQ, right? Similarly, the next option, that is nothing but according to the determinant property, determinant of P plus Q is not equal to determinant of P plus determinant of Q. So this also goes wrong. So only option left is the last one. Let us see whether it is correct or not. So by going through the definition of square of the matrix. So P plus Q whole square can be written as P plus Q into P plus Q. Now just distribute each element, you will find such type of expression, and we know that P into Q is not equal to Q into P, so this 2 will not get added, it will remain as it is. So we find the 4 terms that is given in the option D. Therefore option D is the correct one. Let us move to the next one. Option question number 3. For matrices of same dimensions M and N and a scalar, which one of the following properties does not always holds? So by looking at the option itself, we can decide here. Here M and N are the matrices, and just now I told you that matrix multiplication is non-commutative. So looking at the option itself, you can decide the option D is the non-correct option, right? So this does not holds. So therefore option D is the correct choice for getting the answer. Let us move to the next one. Let m raised to power 4 is I and these identities are not equal to, these matrices are not equal to I. Then for any natural number k, what will be the value of inverse of matrix? So here we will make use of given expression, as I told you that always make use of given information. So here what is given, that m to the power 4 is I, right? As we find in the option m to the power 4k, so let us raise the power k on both the side. So we get m raised to power 4k is equal to I raised to power k, and I raised to power k is always 1. So we have I itself. Then what we find here, that m raised to power 4 is I, m to the power 4k is also I. So let us multiply these two. So what we get, m to the power 4k into m to the power 4 is equal to I into m to the power 4. Now apply law of indices, you will get m to the power 4k plus 4. Their power will get added. And here m to the power 4 is I as per the relation given. So this is also I. So what we have, I. Okay. Now we wish to find out m to the power minus 1. So let us take m to the power pre-multiply by m to the power minus 1 on both the side to this relation. So we get such type of expression. Again, by applying law of indices, you will get 4k plus 4 minus 1, that is 4k plus 3. So we have m to the power 4k plus 3, and any matrix multiplied by another matrix, identity matrix, is a matrix itself. So we have m to the power minus 1. So this is what the value of inverse of the matrix is. So that is given by option number C. Let us have the next question. Question number 5 is, let A and B be a n by n matrices such that this relation is given. Which of the following is always true? So this we have to find out. Okay. So as I said that always make use of the given information to the optimum level, right? So let us start with the given expression, that is BA plus B square equal to I minus BA square. Shift this term on the left hand side. Now, from here on the left hand side, we observe B is the common term, take it outside. So, we have B into this bracket term is equal to I, and we know that when we have a product of two matrices as identity, so one is the inverse of other. So, we can say A plus B plus A square is the inverse of B. So, it means B inverse exists. And we know condition for inverse of existence of inverse is that its determinant should not be equal to 0. Now, when the determinant of any matrix is not equal to 0, it means that matrix is non-singular. So, therefore, option B is the correct option. I hope you are getting the concepts very well. Okay, let us move to the next one. Question number 6. Let A be a m by n full rank matrix with m greater than n. And I is an identity matrix. Let new matrix defined, that is A dash defined in this way. Then which of the following is always true? So options are given. Now if you look at the options given, so you find that in the three options we find the term A dash A. So let us go with this. So consider the term A dash A. Let us find its value. And if we will not get the value out of the correct option, then only we will consider this term, right? This is the logic which we use to apply. So A dash A is equal to A. We know the definition of A dash. It is A transpose A into inverse A transpose, right? Now let us take this A inside. So we have A transpose A. Now if you look at the term, if I'll call P as A transpose A, right? So it is just like P inverse into P, and we know that P inverse into P is I. So we have AI is equal to A. So that's why we have reached to the result A dash A is equal to A, which is nothing but option number A. I hope you are getting all the simplification process. Okay. So this needs to be done quickly so that you can solve the example in a couple of seconds. Let us have the next question. Let A and B are the real symmetric matrices of order n. Then which of the following is always true? As I told you, real matrix means whose entries are a real number, and symmetric matrices means A transpose is equal to A. Right? So the options given are, these are the options. So we will have to find out which one of the following is true. So obviously A cannot be equal to A inverse, and this is commutative property which is not true for multiplication. So this is also rejected. Then A into A transpose is equal to I is true only if the matrix is orthogonal. But the given matrix is symmetric, so this also does not holds. So only option left is this, and this is true according to the reversal law of transpose, that A into B transpose is equal to transpose of the matrix in the reverse order. It means we will get first transpose of the second matrix into transpose of the first matrix. If number of matrices are there, say for example A, B, C, D, into and product of that we are taking with its transpose, then A B C D complete transpose will be D transpose C transpose B transpose A transpose, means we'll have to first take the transpose of the last matrix in the multiplication. In this way one can apply the reversal law of transpose. Let us have the next question. Question number 8 is, let A and B are square matrices of order n, then which of the following is not true? So we'll have to find out which is not true in this case. So these are the options given. So again, to get the answer for this, you will need the concept of determinant. For that you have to watch the video on determinant and Cramer's rule. Okay, so according to the property of determinant, the first option is correct, that is determinant of product is equal to product of determinant. Second is true if order of matrix is n, right? If order of matrix is n, then we can write determinant of k into a as k raised to n times determinant of a. Now again, we know that the when we interchange or when we apply the number of operations, elementary operations, then the order of matrix does not change. Okay, so that's why the determinant of A transpose as well as determinant of A is always same. And to get the determinant of A, we can write it as 1 upon determinant of A inverse. So that's why fourth option is also correct. This is true by property of determinant. This is also true. And by property of determinant, we have determinant of A plus B not equal to determinant of A plus determinant of B. So that's why the identity which is not true is the option number C. Let us move on to the next, second last question. Question number 9. If A and B are non-zero square matrices, then AB equal to 0 implies, these are the options given. So when will be this AB is equal to 0? So we will consider the given relation AB equal to 0. When the matrix is 0, its determinant will also be 0. Now here we have determinant of product. According to property, determinant of product is product of determinant of each matrices. So we get determinant of A into determinant of B is equal to 0. This implies that determinant of A is 0 or determinant of B is 0. So when determinant of A is 0 means A is singular and determinant of B is 0 means B is singular. So which is given in option number B. So that's why option B is the correct one. Let us have the last question, that is, if A and B are the two matrices and if AB exists, then BA exists. What should be condition for BA? So for this, let us take for example, A is a matrix of order m by n and B is a matrix of order p by q. We wish to find out what is the condition for B into A. So condition for existence of a product is that the number of columns of a first matrix, that is what Q here, must be equal to number of row of the second matrix. What is that? Nothing but M. So Q should be equal to M. So number of row of A, that is M, is equal to column of B. That is given in the option number A. Here it should be A, right? If A has a as many rows as B has column, right? So option A is the correct one. So I hope these the contents which are discussed in this video lecture you will find fruitful, and you will find this useful for succeeding in the exams. Thank you for watching the video, and if you wish that it is worth watching, then you can share, and subscribe. Thank you once again for watching the video.